7-0, Jack. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's obviously a really nice start to the season. Yeah, it's going really well so far. Boys are playing really good footy. At the moment, we're still looking at a lot of things that we can improve on. But yeah, it's obviously an ideal start to the season.
A lot of coaches say you tend to learn more from losses. So when you go into meetings and you're reviewing games, you still feel like you're learning and improving even though you keep getting wins?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there was certainly patches in that game on the weekend against Carlton where we let ourselves down a bit, especially late in that game. We probably weren't ruthless enough in the contest to put it away earlier in that last quarter, but yeah, certainly more to improve on throughout the season for sure.
Have you spoken to the skipper and do you know how his hamstring injury is faring?
Yeah, I've spoken to Pat. He's in really good spirits. I'm not exactly sure how long he's out for. I think the club will come out with an update later on in the week, but Pat's been such a reliable player for us, but it was nice to see a few boys stand up when he went out at half time as well, with the likes of Tanner Bruin, Parfy. Yeah, we've got a real good mix in there at the moment, which is nice.
He's already missed a little bit of time this season, so I guess is there a sort of level of confidence that you're able to cover for Pat, even though he's such an integral part of the side?
Yeah, absolutely. And even with Stewie out this week, we saw a lot of players down back step up in Collar and Jack Henry and Zach Guthrie as well. So we feel like, it's so hard to replace those players because they're such stars of the competition, but with a weighted numbers approach, I feel like we can do that.
You've had an opportunity to play some extra midfield time so far this season. With Patrick out of the team, do you feel like you can step up even further and try and fill that void?
Yeah, I actually haven't played a lot with Pat this year, which has been unfortunate, but it'd also be nice to be playing there alongside him because he's such a star of the competition and he's obviously our skipper and a really great leader out there. So, personally, I'm just taking it week by week and working on everything I can to play well for the team.
You mentioned it maybe a couple of days ago that you're feeling a bit more confident in that or comfortable in the midfield role. Can you just expand on that?
Oh, I think just based off, I've been a midfielder sort of my whole life growing up and just did a whole pre-season there, which obviously helps as well. And Stephen King's come across and he's been great. Having a connection with him at the Suns as well helped too. And just feel a lot more natural and play a bit more on instinct in the midfield. And I'm open to playing anywhere as well. I enjoy playing off half back or a wing or even half forward if I need to.
How are you enjoying life at the Cats?
Yeah, loving it. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Myself and my fiance are settling in really well. Second year at the club, I feel like we've built some great relationships here now, and it feels like home, which is good.
Last year, in the scheme of the Geelong Cats in the last 20 years, was sort of a bit of an aberration, not being towards the top end of the ladder. Does it feel like now it's like, oh, this is the Geelong Cats I know, top of the table, winning games of footy?
Oh, to be honest, there's a similar feeling last year to this year as well. Like win, lose or draw, I feel like we're a pretty level-headed bunch, and we're always continuing to learn and play the Geelong way. So no matter the scoreboard, I think we come in on a Monday morning ready to improve and learn, and that's all we can do.
So at the end of when the Cats won the premiership in 2022, yourself, Ollie and Tanner come into the team via the trade period. You're all in the team right now, all playing good footy. You feel like that was a pretty good decision by the Cats to bring you guys in?
Yeah, Ollie and Tanner have been two people I've lent on throughout the last couple of years. They've been awesome to get to know and build relationships off the field with. Going over to Ollie's house plenty of times for dinner and stuff like that, and play a lot of golf with both of them, and really good people, but it's awesome to see them contributing really well on the field, and I'm sure they've got a lot more to give throughout the rest of the season too.
There's some incredible veterans and I guess players at the sort of the back line of their career at Geelong who have been getting done for just years and years, and I guess so much talk always about them, but it feels like this younger generation, which you're a part of, is really contributing strongly. Do you sense that as well, the younger guys that are starting to really make a big impact?
Oh, I think it goes hand in hand. We've got obviously great bunch of youth coming through, but we've also got plenty of leaders at the top end that are sort of helping develop and fast track that growth, and I think it works really well together. But there's also a fair band of players sort of around my age group, around 26, 27, that have been at the club for a long time too, and are sort of trying to take that next step with Zach Guthrie, Jack Henry, Collar, Parfy. We're sort of all in that, or Mark O'Connor as well, that they sort of get forgetting about a bit, that they're sort of in between. They link the young boys and the old boys really well. So.
Could I ask, I think there's, the Cats haven't shied away from the fact that, like, guys will be, go back to VFL, or there's guys playing really well in the VFL as well. And you played one last year, and then at the Suns you played a bit in the VFL in that I think 2022 as well. How beneficial do you feel like that is for those guys like Clark and Conway to get that time in there, and then obviously come up and then contribute at senior level as well?
Yeah, the VFL went really well on the weekend. I think they had a 100-point win, and we're just watching some of their edits in the meeting, and it's just awesome to see them all play for each other. I think sometimes you can get caught playing individually at VFL level, but the Geelong way is to obviously play as a team and execute your role really well. So there was plenty of edits that really portrayed that on the field on the weekend, and there's a lot of young guys developing in the VFL that are going to get their chance really soon, and it's going to be exciting when they do. They're going to be ready.
Yeah, I think Gary Rowe was saying he's kind of ready to kind of put his hand up as well to come back into AFL level after a couple of games. How's he kind of been looking on the track and obviously playing well in the VFL as well?
Yeah, as I said, Gary went really well on the weekend as well. Obviously had a bit of a delay in his pre-season, didn't get to train as much as he would have liked to, but he's always in really good spirits around the club, and that's all you can do is just keep putting your name forward. And I think Gary will play some senior footy for us hopefully this year. Obviously I don't get to make the team selection years and anything like that, but Gary's been an awesome teammate around the club.
You said that team first kind of thing with the Cats, and I read the stat that I think those players have more than 30 disposals. Is that something that is drilled into you guys, or is it just kind of like a byproduct of just you guys playing the role that that kind of stat can occur?
Yeah. I think it comes from the coaches as well, that they honestly don't care too much about how many disposals we have. It's more about the impact we've had on the game, and we've got a lot of team players that buy into that, and you can have 30 disposals, but you can also turn it over a lot, or you can be inefficient as well. So, but 14 or 15 disposals might be really effective out in the game, and that can really turn a game and momentum and stuff like that. So, we try not to look at it too much, and it helps when the coaches don't care too much about that either.
You said I think that efficiency was on show on the weekend. It was incredible how you guys kind of were able to get forward and kick goals, which was, I guess, comparison to Carlton. How did it feel kind of playing that speed and that efficiently going forward?
Yeah, I mean, especially our high forwards do a lot of work up and down the ground, our wingers, to put ourselves in good positions to score. Ideally, we'd like to score in a little bit more from stoppage and going forward, but we've been able to launch some of our attack off half-back really well this year, so hopefully we can keep that up, and the boys are getting some reward for effort, and I think you're seeing a lot of unselfish football out there from a lot of our forwards, giving it to people in better positions and stuff like that. So if we keep buying into that, we're going to hold ourselves in good stead.
There's a bit of buzz about Jeremy Cameron's form at the moment. A few people are saying he's the best player in the comp. What do you think, Jack?
Oh, I mean, he'd have to be up there. I'm not going to label him the best player or anything like that, but he's certainly one of the most impactful players in our team, and he's such a valuable player, and he's playing a lot of different positions, and he's obviously been a great person to have around the club, and in that last quarter there, he's definitely stood up in very high stakes moments for us, and hopefully Jez can keep up the form.
Seems like this Geelong model that you're playing this year is so role driven. You're all playing your role really well, but then Jeremy has a bit more sort of free rein to do what he wants to do. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, I guess that's his role. It's certainly a role as well in itself. But there's certainly times where he has to play structure and play the team way. But Jeremy's such an instinctive player, and the more we can get the ball in his hands, the better we're going to be.
So you've got Melbourne this week. Petrarca, Viney, Oliver as a midfield trio, and they've got more that roll through there when you're preparing to play through the midfield, and I guess planning and scouting for them. What is that process like preparing for them?
Yeah, they're obviously a really solid midfield. Obviously, add Gawn in there as well, and a lot of high half forwards that do a lot of work for them around the ground. So it's going to be definitely a tough matchup for us. A challenge that we're going to embrace, and really looking forward to it. I think every week we're going to come up against really good midfields. It seems like we played the Bulldogs not long ago, Brisbane Lions, obviously Carlton on the weekend. So every week's a challenge for us. But I think a weighted numbers approach, I think we can give it our best shot.
Teams have been putting a bit of work into Petrarca. Would you volunteer to put an arm across him and look after him at stoppages?
Oh yeah, whatever the coaches need from me, I'm happy to do that. Obviously, he's a star of the competition, and we're going to have to respect him, especially going forward. He's a really damaging player, so on his day he can, tear a side apart. So we're going to have to definitely respect him.
Had high 80,000 kind of fans at the MCG against Carlton. What was that like? I guess playing in front of that, and then obviously coming into another big game at the G against another top four side. Is that just a game that you got to embrace as you did on the weekend?
Yeah, that was the biggest crowd I've played in front of, and it was certainly something I was very privileged to be a part of, and it was so awesome to see so many Cats fans there at the MCG, and filling the stands. It was obviously our home game as well, and hopefully we can get some more Cats fans down there this Saturday night. But to think that it was only probably like 6,000 or 7,000 off the actual Anzac Day clash between Collingwood and Essendon was pretty amazing to get such good support down there.
That was a home game last week. Do you feel like that flips it a little bit this week, or do you still expect, say, Cats fans to be there in the numbers to try and balance that out?
Oh yeah, I expect they're going to be there, loud and proud, and I'm looking forward to seeing them out there with the blue and white colours, and the home ground advantage is a bit weird because it's obviously the MCG again, so it doesn't really change too much. But there'll certainly be no Irish songs this week for Zach Tui when he kicks a goal.